You're listening to The Weekly Chaos, a gaming news podcast brought to you by theoffbeet
and Yaslanagrey,
where each week we go over the changes, mishaps, and news from the gaming industry. This week, to the best of my knowledge, we have quite a large variety of topics that I've done minimal research on, so we will be somewhat relying largely on Offbeat to fill in a lot of gaps here. But we've got, I know for a fact there's things about Xbox, there's things about Modern Warfare 3, there's some updates for Remnant, Starfield news. I think that's about it that I specifically paid attention to on the way through. So, Offbeat, where would you like to start?
Seeing as how it's the shortest because it's just a trailer, we could start with the class announcement for Remnant 2.
Easy.
Because it does look very fun, actually.
Excellent. So the new Remnant 2 Ritualist archetype has been revealed. And as long as the play, yes, I'm 17 years or over. Just a heads up, anybody watching or listening to the podcast, you must be 17 years or older to hear the next minute and 15.
Yeah, considering that the Archon was the only caster type class to this point, I liked seeing this because this looks fun.
Excellent. Let's try and get it to play and have a look. It just looks like a wizard so far.
Yeah, it's a straight up fucking wizard. It's a status effect heavy wizard.
Yeah, right.
The prime perk, Vile, makes enemies more susceptible to
it's fucking cool.
And spreads their statuses to nearby enemies.
Oh. Oh.
Like literally get shitted on status effect wizard.
Where was this on release? I want this as my first playthrough. not
fun.
Not trainer puppy friend.
Bleeding, burning, overloaded.
Why am I echoing?
I don't know. I can't hear you twice.
Lastly,
hear myself?
Wish curses the rich themselves. It forgoes standard healing and causes constant health drain, but grants a heavy damage buff and substantial lifesteal.
That's wild.
As a master of pain and suffering, the Ritualist is an excellent archetype to challenge the Awakened King.
I fixed it, by the way. It was
excellent.
My speaker, my mic routing was going to my speakers still this whole time.
Yeah, I just figured since that was the shortest one. I mean, if you want to throw the Awakened King DLC trailer in it too, we can, because that's the DLC it's coming with. But otherwise, that was all that was that in it.
Yeah, I mean, we were going to talk about Awakened King last week and didn't. I think I missed it in the list of things, so we may as well at least put it on while we discuss.
Awakened King, which includes more of the best world in the entire game, Loathsome.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
it's the
neat.
expansion of the Loathsome.
Oh, that's sick. Gives me a reason to go back.
Loathsome was the best fucking world.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking Bloodborne world.
Yeah, it was solid. You know which one I didn't like so much? The one with the plants everywhere.
The fucking Yasha? Yeah, maybe that one. Yasha's nothing to Root Earth. Like the final world you unlock, Root Earth is awful. I fucking hate Root Earth.
Is Root Earth the one where everything's falling apart as you're going through?
Yeah, that's like the final map.
Yeah. I've been there. I just haven't finished it yet. But that looks pretty cool. At least expansions are good.
Hell yeah! And it comes out in 3 days apparently.
Oh fuck yeah! November 14th. Yeah. 3 fucking days. Maybe there'll be a different plan for next week. I haven't decided yet. Cool. Well,
I mean, if you can get it on some of that Ritualist, depending how it's unlocked, you know. Whether they just give it to you with the DLC or you have to find it.
I'm hoping that it's findable and you don't require the DLC to specifically get it. I hope it's just coming out in line with.
I mean, that'd be kind of cool.
It would be nice. It's not likely, but it would be nice. Cool. Well, that's pretty much Remnant 2. So we've got the Awakened King November 14th coming out, as well as the new archetype. Not subclass. They're not a subclass. They're an archetype. Arc, whichever. Yeah. So that looks pretty cool, all in all. Starfield. What's going on with Starfield? I noticed you threw it. It looked pretty short in terms of like a conversational topic. It's just
the hilarity of the whole concept, because I recall when it released, Duke Nukem Forever getting absolutely dragged through the mud for being so bad.
Yeah, why?
And then Starfield is considered so good.
But it's 0.03% lower in ratings, in positive ratings.
I feel like it's kind of a percentage based thing, because if you might notice, there's a lot more reviews on Starfield than Duke Nukem, but at the same time, according to the article, Duke Nukem Forever is having some kind of resurgence where people are revisiting it and are considering it actually good. But with those unfamiliar with Duke Nukem's from another time. Duke Nukem's from when big angry white man with all the guns comes through and kicks all the ass, and people thought that was still going to hold up in today's time with a shitty story, and it could carry itself.
Yeah, I remember when Duke Nukem came. I mean, I played Duke Nukem like 3D as a kid, and I remember when Duke Nukem Forever came out, and it was just let's go with across the board a bad plan.
If I recall, there's a boss fight in that game, which is literally just a giant alien that's like all tits.
That does not surprise me in the slightest.
Because, testosterone beat woman.
Yeah, it came out at a really bad time for what it was. If it had come out 5 years earlier, it probably would have done okay.
Yeah, just Duke Nukem in general was just a dated concept.
Yeah, more 100%. At that point, it was
after it had been in development hell for a decade. It was just let it go.
Yeah.
The problem with it was that Gearbox, having started off as an indie development company and found success in Borderlands, decided they also wanted to branch out and become publishers, and started buying up all these old IPs like Duke Nukem and Aliens, and for some reason, all their I'm gonna pay you to make this game plans never goes well.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like when you're not the one directly contributing to the game, your creative ideal gets kind of misplaced somewhere in the middle. It's kind of expected to happen. But yeah, that's vaguely entertaining. I mean, it's only 0.3%, and I'm sure it's probably fixed itself by now. But like, that seems very strange to be below Duke Nukem Forever.
Just the fact that it happened, I thought that was fucking hilarious.
Very much so. I love the difference between in-game stats for this one little infographic they've put down there. There's 19 people playing Duke Nukem Forever versus 16,000 for Starfield. So that was entertaining. Where would you like to head to next? Yeah, this Burnout game. Let's just cycle to the left from here.
Oh yeah, this is not your dad's Burnout. This is something else.
Did someone name a game Burnout and just
Yes.
Okay.
They're trying to capitalize on the hype of the name itself, and as such, they're breaking in all these dollar sales, because it's a very cheap game, both in appearance and cost.
Is there still a hype for Burnout? When was the last time? Where did you go? Oh, there you go. When was the last time a new Burnout game came out?
Paradise Remastered came out like maybe 7 years ago.
I'm just going to Google Burnout game and see if I can find anything released any more recently than that. It's technically owned by EA. Its latest release was 2018. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Burnout Paradise City Remastered would be the most recent one.
Yeah, which was 2018. I've played that one, actually. Burnout 3 Takedown was the one that I first got into Burnout with, and it will forever hold. 3
Takedown and Revenge were my two favorite ones.
That's fair. I remember Takedown because I remember its soundtrack. Like, it's kind of like the Tony Hawk's of like car games. I remember its soundtrack and nothing else.
I like Paradise City's soundtrack because it's like a lot of really good, like, I'm gonna race this car, I'm gonna kill people, I'm gonna get some going kind of games, and then out of nowhere, Avril Lavigne's Girlfriend comes on.
Yeah. It's a bit like 2004 playing. It was probably 2006, but playing Burnout 3 Takedown was also the exact same time I got into this little indie band at the time called Sugar Cult that no one had heard of, but one of their songs was in Burnout 3. And I felt so recognized, and it was just this like wonderful moment where pop punk was in driving games. Because prior to that, we had like fucking we had Need for Speed, which was just full of like weird hip hop games and music, really. Like that was the attached like music genre to car games. And then we got Burnout, and it had like rock songs, and it had like alt like pop punk stuff.
In the same vein of that, I heard my first Static X song playing Need for Speed Underground.
That's true. I forgot they were involved in that.
Which otherwise was a lot of like rap.
Yeah, I also thought it was yeah.
Yeah, then out of nowhere, Static X's "The One" comes on, and I'm like, "What the fuck is this song?"
I also remember being really into The Doors, and then playing Need for Speed Underground 2, and there was the Snoop Dogg Riders on the Storm crossover, and I did not know how to process that was a thing, especially at an age where I was a very like musical purist. It was such a weird moment to exist in. Yeah, but okay. So basically, someone's grabbed the name in the hopes that people will buy it without really thinking about it, and then just hope that the Mortal Kombat 1 release graphics excuse will carry across, and people will just keep it and not refund it immediately.
I don't know if there's really an excuse as regards to graphics. I think they're literally just trying to ride the name and get sales.
And look, I mean, if the game works,
to be fair, this seems to be a common issue. Like they mentioned another video they covered, or another game they covered that was on the eShop that got taken down, where it was literally like a ripoff of The Last of Us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I have a link off article to that one. Give me a second.
I could have sworn they mentioned it in this article somewhere.
The totally not a Rocket League clone that is Rocket Car Ultimate Ball League machines. The Last Hope Dead Zone Survival.
That was it. The Last Hope. That's it. Yeah,
that's the one.
Last of Us. It was a Last of Us clone.
Yeah.
But yeah, so some developers are going on the eShop and just making these blatant ripoffs that don't look great.
I mean, look, if it makes money for 10 minutes, I'm not surprised. Even if it makes money long enough for your like company to look legitimate, so you can use it for other purposes.
And then even to my understanding, even the secondary character in this game, The Last Hope, is like a direct carbon copy of Ellie from The Last of Us.
Jeez. I like how this picture on the front here for The Last Hope down here on like the thumbnail kind of looks like the dude from Infamous, like the free runner from Infamous.
But yeah, like you see, it's an exact rip of Ellie.
Oh yeah. It's like
it's just straight up her. Plus this weird nondescript white guy.
Yeah, who kind of looks like he belongs in like Infamous or something. Yeah, that's fun.
So yeah, someone's just trying to profit off of looking just close enough to this other game.
Yeah. Speaking of that, what was this Xbox getting AI generated content thing? Are they using AI generated dialogue? Is that what I read out of here?
What I guess like it's supposed to kind of like maybe to pitch ideas like, hey, whale space seaman captain flies to Jupiter Mars and kills government porno snail, and then you're like, yeah, we'll make a game about that.
I'm sorry, you just wrote the entire premise behind Saints Row 4. I mean, it's not, but still, it's exactly the level of ridiculousness that's exactly how I would imagine Saints Row brought out anything ever, is just that. But yeah, okay, so it's just kind of, yeah, they're just kind of using AI to give them ideas, but it's,
from what I understand roughly, is it's like they're using the AIs to generate launch points to make a game about.
Yeah, they've got one.
They can vaguely take work from the writers in a way that can still be copyrighted, because it's like, here's your starting point right around that, and it's not entirely your story, but we can still claim it.
Yeah, one of these tools is an AI design copilot that'll let developers type in prompts and have these creative ideas turned into detailed scripts, dialogue trees, quests, and more. So it's the other way around. The writer chucks in like fucking space pirates to Jupiter, Mars, and then the AI comes up with a story for it. The second tool is a character runtime engine that is integrated directly into the game client to generate stories, quests, and dialogue completely on the fly. So you basically put your character in the game, press the forward button, and it generates a bunch of shit. So it just takes out all the work.
But there's still the human element in it, so it can be copyrighted.
So
I feel like this has to be directly in response to that judge ruling. I swear
it's got to be to some degree, because
because if you have to if a person has to input the information to get the result, then it has to
technically it's a product of humans.
Yes, it's a human input, therefore it can be copyrighted as per the loosely created guidelines.
Oof, that's fucked up. Yeah, right. I'm not.
So you know, somebody obviously tried to find a workaround to the copyright issue.
And realistically, they've probably done it too. It's probably not that far off.
Someone was bound to.
On the topic of Xbox, while we're here, it's technically a PlayStation issue, but what is Christmas Massacre, and why is it apparently too much to put on Xbox? Oh,
it's a PS1 style horror game, and it's very gory and slashery, and they're like, no, we don't want it.
Yeah, this is like the worst 80s wannabe PlayStation game I've seen on a modern console. Considering they went out in the 80s, but
and they're like, yeah, no, it's too horrific, it's too terrifying, it's too graphic, it's too mindless slaughter. We don't want it on our consoles.
I mean, kudos to Xbox for deciding not to put this on their consoles. I'm not gonna really point against them on that one. I don't think this needs to be on
Steam.
Yeah, but I don't think this needs to be a game, realistically. I can't think of a single reason why this exists.
It's just when you upload the video, you just have the entire screen blurred the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, this doesn't need to be a game. This is horrible. This is awful.
It just...
Oh, good. We got clown costumes.
And a Christmas tree that wants to kill.
Of course.
That was...
What else do Christmas trees tell you to do?
Deck the halls with all the people. Tra la 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 la. Oh, right. I'm curious about the sexy anime RPG. How sexy is it exactly? Is this 18 plus gameplay, or questionable if you're 13-year-olds playing it and you can't find their socks?
According to the article, there is a 18 plus version coming in November.
Well, that leads into the next point, but I'm not done with this one. From what I understand, it's just another one of those gacha games where you put money in and get characters out and collect them or whatever. The not safe to work free-to-play game about fighting evil and collecting women with big tits came to smartphones until October 26th. That was the specific. That was the top line of this article.
Yeah, but from what I understand here is that like any of these free-to-play games, you can either buy the premium currency that will allow you to access characters directly, or you can earn it through playing. But there was an error in the game's coding where people were getting more of this currency than they should have from questing, and when the developers took it back, they not only took it back, but they gave characters a deficit based on what they thought they so now you have to earn or pay to get that premium currency back to zero before you can get more.
Yeah, this person's saying, because I play too much now, I won't be able to get more gems, as I'm 8,000 crystals in debt and got to make the same amount in order to get more free gems.
Yeah, so the concept of the error clearly being on their end, because it was clearly a programming issue, and they're literally punishing the player base for it.
Yeah, so they've taken the Bungie route.
Yeah.
Excellent. But speaking on terms of there being a 18 plus version coming. Now you can hide your games from your friends so you can play porn on Steam.
Yeah.
So now, if you really want to play the version where all the girls you go around collecting with big tits are wearing no top, you can do that without telling your friends. Which, considering the high propensity of adult, like 18 plus nudity and such style games on Steam from a quick scroll through, if you don't have the filter on that stops them from showing up, which I don't because I'm lazy, that's a lot of games you can hide from your friends.
Yeah, from what I understand, it's as easy as just marking the game as private, and then you can't see it in your library.
Yeah.
And then no one will ever know you were playing that furry porn simulator.
Knowing all of my friends.
You disgusting, degenerate heathen.
Knowing all of my friends, they will make sure their Discord status updates. Speaking of, will this hide it from your Discord status? Because you know how Discord's like, you're playing Fortnite or you're playing Baldur's Gate or whatever. Will Discord turn around?
I almost want to say doubtful.
I love the fact that this says, say you have a friend who plays a ton of Dota 2 and is always asking you to join them. Why would Dota 2 be the game that people would be hiding?
Because they don't want to admit what you're actually trying to hide, but they want to set the scenario.
I like the fact
scenario, like, hey, they can't tell you're playing Dota 2.
Yeah, the idea is that you can mark it private for in the Dota 2 scenario. You mark it private so that nobody can see that A, you own it, and B, that you're playing it. So that if you've got a friend who's really into it and they always want you to play and you decide to check it out without them, it doesn't ring any bells. However, if you'd like to ring your bell, that's also exactly the steps you want to take. Yeah, that made sense. All right. You want to flip a coin about which Modern Warfare article we tear into first? Light mode or dark mode? Actually, you know what? We can just half these because this one is telling us that
they kind of go hand in
hand. They'll kind of run into each other because
like the Bungie ones.
Yeah, because look, this one is basically, the bottom one is basically saying that apparently Modern Warfare is basically just a really expensive DLC, taking the Overwatch route. In that, I'm guessing it doesn't realistically add much.
It is the lowest reviewed campaign of any Modern Warfare in history at a 4 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, that could be because people spent like 3 days trying to hit the campaign button for it to restart their game, for them to load back in, to hit the campaign button, to restart their game, to load back in, to hit the campaign button, to restart their game. Because that was a real issue for a while there. But
it's the basic premise here is it looks like ass, it plays like ass, it feels like ass, and it took them half the time of normal development to do it.
Probably because they weren't given the choice to take any longer than half the time to do it. They were told,
which is also,
they were just told that they had to do it in this time frame, and not in, which was half the time that they would normally take. It was 1.5 years instead of 3 years, which is a very big difference between doing a fully fleshed out story and getting an AI to write 50% of it, which I'm not saying is what they've done. I'm just saying that would be the difference. It would be the difference between having well polished graphics and a robust system over just this.
But they're really trying to hype the game up to a point where they made a post saying who's going to get world first of all of these accolades, and one was like a no scope on high rise and fucking 60 kill on Rust, and out of the entire list there was only one that was already crossed through, and that was self grenade.
Yeah, look, that one's always going to be crossed off. No, I feel like what's happened is that remind me who owns Modern Warfare. Is it Ubisoft?
It's Activision Blizzard.
Activision Blizzard probably turned around and were like, give us this in this amount of time, and then if we get enough pre-sales, then we'll pay you to build the rest of the game. Because that's just the world we live in now, where instead of actually getting a game, Disney Dreamlight Valley, I'm looking at you, we see how it does and then decide whether we're going to charge more, add it as a DLC, or both. So I'm not a fan of the system. I'm hoping that maybe there will be an update at some point that isn't a DLC that will give you the things that it's missing, or at least give you more depth, more things, more bits.
The unfortunate side of game development where not everything could be like Spider-Man, where you have a DLC bundle that gets so big that it just becomes its own campaign, like Miles Morales.
Yeah, no, 100%. But I don't know. Bring back Battlefield Band Company 2. That's all I say. All right, that brings us to the end of our various articles for the day, and almost about the end of Off Its Voice by the sound of it. So thank you very much for being here. Like and subscribe. Check us out on whatever platform you happen to find us on. I promise you we're on 99% of them. Last week's update should be going live in about 12 hours. So much love. Catch you later. Have fun. Bye-bye. And I don't think we have an episode next week.
Not next week, nor the week following, because
Cool.
I will be unavailable both Saturdays.
Cool. So 2 weeks. We'll see you in see you after 2 weeks. So 3 weeks. We'll see you in 3 weeks. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. 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 Gnarly, bro. There we go.